Ladies and gentlemen, I have to warn you. A, this video is going to be doomy. Real doomy. And B, I'm in a bad mood. I had a dream that I had a girlfriend. She was super cool, and we were in this cool snowstorm. And then I woke up on planet Earth in 2019, which to me is about as romantic as making love to a cheese grater. All right, let's get to the severe weather action, because giving you guys fantastic information and saving lives is what I do. We got a weather pattern that is coming up that is as wild as I've ever seen it. I think we're looking at the most dangerous week of weather in my 7 years of being Thor of THORnews. We have a storm that is now starting to press through the four corner states, and that will turn into a big alien shrimp and move out the East Coast as a record-breaking hurricane force low will hit the West Coast, which means Oregon, California. And this is going to be before and after Thanksgiving, which will be the most traveled period ever in American history. So you better be ready. I mean, we ain't even really got started yet. And look at how wacky the situation is. It's colorful. It is definitely colorful. I got a lot of haters and imitators, but nobody do it like I do, baby. All right, I've been talking about this total solar eclipse coming Christmas, technically the day after, because I am convinced that the total solar eclipses absolutely make the weather just wacky beyond wackiness. And we see major volcano eruptions and major earthquakes, a week or two before and a week or two after. Especially with all the gas giants on the same side, which I've found is when most of the major earthquakes and volcanoes take place in the United States and Canada. So we have all of our bells ringing, reindeer style, from now all the way through December. Are you listening? I hope so. And if minor stratospheric warming events get y'all excited, go ahead and get excited. Because it's brought to us by Michael Ventris, and the minor stratospheric warming event driven by the displacement of the stratospheric polar vortex off its axis is now taking place. Sidebar, have you noticed that all the crypto experts in the truth community are also political experts? Anyway, Bitcoin ain't going up. It's kind of going down. It's been in a slump. And technically, I think it's already had a double top. So I'd maybe buy it at like $3,000 or $4,000. Was it talking about weather? Okay. Technically, I believe the models are underselling the severity of not only the big storms that we will be seeing, but the overall new pattern, because we are getting storms coming in from the top, the Pacific Northwest, right? Like up through here, and then you're getting storms coming through here, and then passing through. And so that's going to be a pretty dangerous situation, in my opinion. Speaking of that, I got to warn you, this is an hour 372 on the GFS, which means meteorologists are like, you should never pay attention to anything 5 days out. But I like to just watch it for patterns. And the GFS has Washington getting hit with a Category 4 hurricane. I know it's not a hurricane, but for the sake of the argument, 940 millibar low on the Stafford-Simpson scale. Oh, sorry, wrong one. On the Stafford-Simpson scale would make it a Category 4 hurricane. So we're going to go with that. Call it what you want to. Call it what you will. So yeah, dude, it's talking about on the 11th of December, 942 millibars, man. But not only that, if we watch the model run, look at these weird lines that permeate into the West Coast. And then this would just be an absolute dousing. So you'd be getting hit up here by major hurricane force winds And then you would just get an extremely dangerous amount of precipitation. This may not verify, but like I'm saying, I think we will see increased severe weather coast to coast all the way up into the eclipse and then a week or two after. And before the year started, I said to everybody, I think there's a 75% chance we will see a major earthquake or volcano eruption in California and along the West Coast this year, and 95% chance in 2020. And so we already had the 7.1 earthquake in California right around the eclipse that happened in July. And so I have been ringing bells about this December for the West Coast since July. And so now that we are getting closer to December, not trying to scare anybody. This is Asteroid Fight Club. I believe we will survive and thrive and overcome eventually. But most people I talk to are like, you know what, man? People aren't going to change until we have a major cataclysm and we lose a bunch of people. I'm like, we can change without the cataclysm, man. Anyway, what was I talking about? And I definitely think there is a good chance we're going to see possibly an 8 earthquake. Not necessarily in California. I'm not good at the earthquake placement, but I got a real funny feeling, man. Anywho, so let's get back to the hardcore sciencey stuff. But I'm just saying, this is going to be a dangerous situation, and these storms are going to travel across, and so everybody's going to be getting in on the action over the next 5 weeks. All of weather Twitter is basically saying WTF at the strange pattern we're seeing coming up. John Homenuck, fascinating evolution being modeled on global ensemble suites late this week. An upper low and associated cyclone over the central U.S. could be shunted southward as a result of a large upper low and associated confluent flow over eastern Canada. There's a lot to unpack here. And I'm not going anywhere. I have no plans. I'll be working all through Thanksgiving. But if you are traveling, I would highly watch the weather because we are getting hit by double danger on the West Coast and in the middle of the United States of America during the period right before Thanksgiving and the period after. This will be the most dangerous week of weather in the United States all year, for sure. Jeff Baradelli, man, your family's chocolate is delicious. Hurricane force gusts and huge waves. A dangerous storm is heading towards southwest Oregon and northwest California Tuesday and Wednesday in the run-up to Thanksgiving. Prepare now for possible impacts. We're talking avoid travel on Tuesday and Wednesday if possible. Sustained hurricane force winds well offshore. Winds gusting up to 70 or 80 miles per hour, southwest Oregon. High seas, waves as high as 30 to 35-foot waves expected. Heavy snowfall, heavy rain, and some record low pressure. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some type of a earthquake up along the Ring of Fire. Could be in Alaska, could be Canada, could be Mexico, could be California, could be Oregon. Sometimes we see the weird lows accompanied by a earthquake. It's just the way it is. But yeah, the King Euro is showing this thing with 112 mile per hour gusts offshore. And remember, if you need to put a smile on your face, John Hughes is highly underrated. I highly recommend planes, trains, and automobiles. Hey, look, there's that Bitcoin double top I was talking about. There's top 1, top 2, and here's probably your price line, man. No, East Coast, I did not forget about you. Anthony Siciliano, 18ZGFS, going bonkers with Sunday, Monday storm potential. Verbatim, this would be a major winter storm nor'easter. Yeah, 973 low, that's a Category 2 hurricane force winds. It's going to have some snow components, but mostly rain. But Stu Ostro helping drive home the fact that this big Cali Oregon cane, is going to be a record setter and I think is being undersold. Even by meteorological bomb standards, the rate of the central pressure drop with the cyclone will be impressive as the jet stream intensifies and stings and digs. And this is not a typical track for such storms. Surface isobars are at 1 millibar intervals and colors are 500 millibar wind speeds. So, yeah, it's almost like a fastball that's getting kicked straight out of Alaska. So it's a dangerous situation, and it will be, but I mean, it like speeds up and strengthens all the way up until landfall. And so I think the waves, and there might actually be some West Coast storm surge, which is not something we usually deal with, man. Ever I can remember. Greg Diamond, shining bright, one of the strongest storms on record ever to forecast to impact Oregon and northwest California coast this week. It's being called the potentially historic windstorm. All-time low pressure records may be in jeopardy. Yeah, I definitely think they're going to fall. You're definitely going to get some heavy, heavy snow in the higher terrains. You're going to get some heavy rain, and you're definitely going to get some disruptions. You're going to have to watch out for mudslides. But hey, the good news is I think fire season is over. Tom Niziol. It isn't often you see hurricane-force wind warnings off the Pacific coast. Wow, this will be an intense storm. And so, I've been saying we need to be looking for signs that my prediction, although I should stay away from predictions, of a earthquake in December and possibly the first 2 weeks into January for the West Coast are going to be accurate. And so now that we're seeing these anomalous storms being thrown at the West Coast and increasing in strength, if the one forecast for the 11th of December is correct, then I think we're looking at a good chance of an earthquake. And I'm a planetary defense commander, man. I'm not here to scare you. And I make all my money off of contributions that y'all make to the wonderful letters you send me in the mail or PayPal, Patron, Venmo, CashApp. So if I was fear-mongering people, I'd have been out of business a long time ago, and I've been existing and thriving off y'all's contributions for 4 years. So I give it to you straight up the best I can. Sometimes I'm wrong, but I see absolutely no reason to downplay the situation or even the situation leading up to the eclipse in December. The super-duper wonderful Katya Porskansky pointing out there's a lot of hubris in the face of wildfire danger in California and the people who continue to build in the most dangerous spots. But you know what? They're insured. So, I don't know. Thanks, Katya. Now we're taking a live look at Cranky Weather Guy. He's also been resting up for the big holiday weather push. He has to deal with negativity, war, climate change arguments, trolls. But you know what? Cranky Weather Guy has kicked all your asses and has definitely been the best of the best all hurricane and all weather season. And I got to thank Cranky, man, in our unofficial buddy cop duo. I'm really bad at the hurricane turning things, and I literally melted down the hour before Hurricane Dorian turned north. I thought it was going to flatten South Florida, and he was like, no, it's going to turn. So I thank him. He's just done a spectacular grade A job all year. I will leave his blog linked for you, as always. And remember, the whole time during that, I was like, hey, man, always double check with what I say with Cranky, because that dude is just super pro on every level, although he's cranky sometimes. Click, click, pow. And it's like I've been saying, dude, click, click, pow. You got Popocatépetl in Mexico that has been going off every single day this year. Every single day. You got volcanoes in Alaska now erupting. Let me show you something. So you got all these volcanoes down here. It's not just Popocatépetl. It's also Fuego. It's also Colima. And then you've got volcanoes here and here erupting. So if this range is active in the Ring of Fire, and this range is active, it's not unheard of to think that somewhere on this range is going to become active. You know? And modern science has been so busy trying to convince y'all that a carbon tax is going to fix stuff, they've spent a wooden nickel on volcano and earthquake research. You know? Like literally a buffalo nickel. So these are crazy times indeed. So now we're going to watch the models. And you're going to be having one storm moving through the center of the United States as another storm hits the West Coast. And so it's going to be a super active period. And that, I mean, look at that. This is, okay, so you got one storm coming from the upper Northeast, one storm coming from the Baja, Mexico area to combined over the United States, which on the 30th is going to cause a major storm ranging from the Four Corners up into the Dakotas to Texas. That's going to extend all the way over and kind of bomb out as it moves out. And then we just start it all over again. So we're going to get some heavy, nasty areas that are going to get hit. You're going to get some white Christmas on Thanksgiving for a lot of areas. That's for sure. So I don't think I can stress maintaining weather awareness and vigilance and having a plan. I mean, this is going to catch a lot of people off guard, I think. And like I said, I think that when the two storms actually meet up on around the 30th, that storm is going to be bigger than advertised. And if the storm coming on the 11th verifies, then we definitely need to be keeping our eye out for all of December leading up to the eclipse. Because the Earth's atmospheric cycle is disrupted as the moon blocks out the natural sunlight, which causes the entire atmospheric evolutionary process. And so, yeah, dude, this is as wild and as dangerous as I've seen it. Pretty much everybody, except for South Florida, is going to need to be paying attention. So, thank you for paying attention. And if you do want to say thanks around Thanksgiving, today, tomorrow, you can send me a letter. I survive and thrive off your contributions and donations. If you want to send anything to my PayPal or my Venmo or my CashApp to help me, I'll be here. I'd like to grill out, maybe buy some pork chocks, maybe even buy a steak. I've never grilled out. I'd have to buy charcoals and stuff. I'd appreciate it. I'm going to be busting my ass all through this holiday season and then all the way through December because it's going to get wild, baby. It is going to get wild. Boom. All right. So I'll be keeping you guys updated because this is not going to disappoint, man. So be prepared, stay cool, and remember to have some fun during this holiday season. And I'll try and cheer up, man. But I don't know. Being a straight male trying to stay optimistic about romance is, it's a sketchy situation. Look at that, man. That is just, I mean, okay. I got time to talk about it. Peace out. God bless everyone.